address the elephant in the room, right? So since we don't have any bans on the side of Team Secret, what could be the potential, or what would you think, if you were Team Falcons, what is going to be your go-to into this one? Like, are we going to go and see FF pick up his Musashi? Because he's not going to ban it out for himself, right, in the first part of the game. They do get prio on the blue. Let's see what they go for. I mean, if you were Falcons, right, or what would be the prio pick, right?
I mean, I would like something like a Dune, something to kind of, you know what I mean? Because it doesn't take away from anything. It's a good first phase pick, excuse me. And it kind of lets FF play to his strengths, which is kind of being up that frontliner, that damage dealing one. But it looks like the Musashi is going to the other side with TNX.
Very interesting. I'm not on camera, but I threw my hands up into the air. I was like, that's a clear shot. FF taking that. So they must be cooking up something else with this Dolia, right? Something that they may have been keeping in their roster just for a moment like this, but it could be a bit early.
Yeah, but I like this, right? This is an adjustment that we clearly see from Coach Kelvin, right? In the sense that, you know, TNX has always been with the manky, the tanky frontliner. Yes. He doesn't really do a whole lot of damage. Yeah, he's got great control, but now with this Musashi, he's got a little bit of everything. Plus, he has damage for spades. He's got everything that you want, and they pick up the Zhang Fei, and it looks like they're just taking notes straight out of, you know, our playbook in the sense of just being that frontliner. Give Yuhan something that he really wants to kind of just shine on.
Yeah, I mean, it works, right? So this is something that is tried and tested. It works, but I like to bring back up to the point about TNX. So he can be a carry, right? We've seen him in the Season 2 Invitational. There was one game he didn't take Smite and was still able to pull off a very convincing victory. So giving something over like the Musashi is going to make getting onto the Dolia very easy in these team fights. Yes, you're going to have Dune there, but what is the historic gameplay that we've seen from FF on this dude? He always goes in a little bit too early and doesn't get much baited out of it.
Yeah, I mean, like sometimes he just kind of shines on this one. I mean, again, Kindofu was saying it in the beginning of the game or the beginning of the series where he was just like, Team Falcons is very hit or miss. Sometimes they are amazing and look top tier. The other times are like, what is that play? Why are they doing that? There are a lot of questions in that sense. What we want to see is Team Falcons play a little bit more consistently, but sticking with the same heroes will help with that because now you have that familiarity and you can build that consistency.
You can indeed. I mean, the Ali into the Musashi, into the Zhang Fei is something that is tried and tested. They ban out the Ganon mode because we saw yesterday that Shishan was able to play the Ganon mode very well, and it was kind of like a swap up. I think Shishan had it in the first game, then it went over to Aaron twice, if I remember correctly, and that's when Blacklist started to shine. So Ganon mode being completely taken off the cards here, and for both of these teams, they're looking for the Clash lane and they're looking for the mid lane. So they go for the Liu Bang, who's been having a pretty explosive performance today.
Yeah, and I think that we've kind of seen the rise of this Liu Bang in the Clash lane, right? It provides so much split push. You're able to provide a lot of space for your team because you're able to kind of just push that one across. Plus, you can get into the fight at a moment's notice. If Arlie ever gets jumped and there's some potential unruly blades from FF on the Dune to kind of lock it in, you can potentially save her. So you have that element as well. But right now, my only concern is that Team Falcons, not a whole lot of catch.
Not a whole lot of catch, no. I mean, they've got the Musashi, they've got the Unbridled Outrage from the Zhang Fei, so we could see something in the mid lane, maybe like the Angela to kind of counter the Dune, right? The anti-tank mage, she has the CC when she activates the Blazing Brilliance, the Chaos Cinders kind of slows them down as well, but she does pack a punch in the early game. But I do like the fact that they've given over the Byron to Wawa, because I think this has been one of the most kind of like the understated Clash laners within this tournament this far, because he's able to take those 1v1s in the Clash lane very convincingly. It doesn't matter who he goes up against, but they are going to go for the Lady Gens, so something a little bit more back to basics. The Destructive Deluge kind of hones them in, zones them in. Yeah,
the number 2 pick in the group stage, right? It's very popular, very strong, and it's reliable. You have that damage, you have that AoE zone, you have control, you have literally everything, right? So I really like this draft from Team Secret. I think they run away with this one, assuming they can stop the Lady Soon Bobby.
Yeah, that's the most important part, right? I mean, the funny thing is, they had the green light to go for the Ming on Clue, and Clue's and Bobby's Ming and Lady Sun has been something that's pretty deadly, right? So it's really weird seeing that there's no like 8 bans on the board, but it kind of works in TS's favor at the same time because they're not kind of having to ban out the things that the enemy team goes for because they don't go for them.
Yeah, it's so weird. I mean, Team Falcons probably should have gone for that, but they first picked the Dulia, right? Yeah. So they kind of put themselves into that situation. That said, I think that in hindsight, they're probably like, hey, it's uncharted territory where the enemy team doesn't really have the bans. So I'm sure they were kind of like, oh, we'll just ban as per normal because it's kind of awkward otherwise.
Yeah, we're getting that level 1 sort of invade here at the moment. FF gets the Wind Slash up. They're trying to take the Crimson Golem from the side of Team Secret. They do have 2 smites here. They've got to contest it. Goes up to TNX. There's a bit going on here at the moment. Wawa is swinging at that mace.
Oh. Yeah, first minute, we will get that full 4-on-4 in the middle. Shishan will help to deal the damage as well. It's going to be first blood. 1-for-1, 1-for-3 trade. And this is what Secrets want to start off with. And that's the final one. 4 kills in the first minute. Boys, we have a game on our hands.
Look, Yuhan, this is why he's so good with the Zhangfei. That leaping savior completely caught them off guard. Falcons thought, hey, I've got a numbers advantage. I'm going to take advantage of this. But the jump in, the extra shield, the amount of sustain that they had really paid off. Really well played by Team Secret there.
Yeah, I mean, this is something a little bit out of the MO for Falcons, right? They don't really go for those level 1 invades because they don't like taking the fight to the enemy. They like sort of playing a little bit more on the back foot. They like baiting out the skills, but we're going to see the replay here that kind of was like a little bit of an aggressive advance for Falcons, a little bit too overzealous for my liking for this draft and roster on Falcons. And you see the FF goes down. Once he goes down, that's the only tank on the side of Falcons gone. That's your backbone taken away.
Yeah, taken away there. I mean, TNX was kind of, baiting them out. He was just waiting for the cooldowns to, his skills to go off cooldown for him to go back in, and it was just enough. And Team Secret getting out that early lead. Again, we talked about this in the past series about how good Team Secret is when they have a lead.
Yes, they do. They're very well when they get a lead, right? And I mean, that lead's looking quite monstrous for the 2-minute mark. They're just about 2K ahead of Falcons, and that's going to go horribly wrong.
Really? Yeah. They're trying again.
Yeah, they are trying again. I mean, the definition of insanity, right? I mean, TNX was able to get that, but
yeah, I mean, what are you doing? It's 2.5 minutes. You have the crucial initiate. You have the rampage coming out from TNX, and what a game that Team Secret are starting with.
I mean, as well, Falcons had something going for them, right? Everybody but Dolia was level 4, so they would have their ultimates. Maybe the team fight would have worked. So you can kind of see that it's not quite the definition of insanity that we thought of. They tried again once they had their ultimates, but it didn't quite still work out in their favor.
Yeah, you gotta shoot your shot. Sometimes you gotta keep shooting your shot, and unfortunately, it didn't really pay off for them. Team Secret really making them pay, but okay, we see the strategy of what they're trying to do. They're trying to limit TNX as much as possible, but Team Secret are like one step ahead. They're isolating, they're providing the space for TNX to get that buff and to kind of turn things around. They've done a great job of allocating him and letting him get that farm.
Yeah, I mean, it's all going over to TNX, right? 4-0-2. He has the second tier jungle item here. He has, you can see going into the burning the Blazing Cape, but what I've been noticing with a lot of junglers throughout this tournament is that they go for 2 second-tier items. It's going for the Blazing Cape second-tier item, and it's going for Dragon Rage's second-tier item as well. And then it kind of goes from there. They build the boots, and then they start to build that 3rd tier, because those second-tier items give over the passive that's very useful for those 3rd-tier items.
Oh, definitely. And I mean, look, TNX, he's level 8, FF is level 6 because of this. Yuhan is getting gone on. He's got the Leaping Savior. He'll just eat that one. He's not too scared of FF, who now is looking to turn this around.
Yep, they will turn it around, and it's a simple kill for a simple movement on the side. Bobby caught on the back lines, will manage to just limp away at this point, but it's just Team Secret running rampant all across the map, and I can't believe I'm saying this, but it's only 4 minutes into the game.
Yep, 4 minutes and 20 seconds. A little bit of significance there, but we won't point that out. That will be something that people catch in the chat. But they do get the neutral objective over to the side of Team Secret. But hey, they've got no turrets just yet, but they will fall down in the due time because we can see here the Xuan is going for the T1 down into the farm lane. And they have the priority in everything right now. The gold, the kills, the neutral objectives. All they need to do is just maintain this tempo.
Yeah, definitely. And they are definitely in the driver's seat with this one. And I mean, Team Secret just doing such a great job. I kind of want to highlight Chuan here. He's been great on the Liu Bang. The shields have been great with the Battlefield Command, just locking it in. He knows he's going in, and so he knocks him down. So for Sun to take him down.
The Battlefield Command comes through, and they are not exhausting the idle outrages.
Yep. So at this point, I think it's pretty clear to say that we will have a Sun that's gonna have so many more kills in this game, and that's not all. On the middle part of the map, Ray gets taken down as well. This leaves just Bobby all alone, the lone survivor of Falcons, simply because he was not there.
I'm going to throw this narrative out there, right? Maybe it's just Falcons saying, hey, we know you had to get this on stage in terms of the coach and whatnot. We won't take this game one serious, but I think that's a bit of a stretch. It's a bit of a reach, but it's in the realms of possibility. But right now, it is looking like an A-class game for Team Secret. 7K gold ahead.
Yep, this is going in. Right, duel to the death committed as well. That's going to leave Wawa low, but for the first time, Shishan will be taken down. But it's a trade. It's a 1-for-1. FF is the victim. And right now, there's not a lot of tankiness coming out from the side of Falcons.
Not a lot at all, right? I mean, they got the T1 down into the mid lane. That is very vital in this matchup here. 6 minutes in, they've lost T1s across every lane. So dominance right now is on the gorge for Team Secret.
Yeah, this is very worrying for Team Falcons here. I mean, Sun is getting fatter and fatter. I mean, he has 5,100. I mean, he has a 1.5K net worth lead over Bobby right now, completely dominating. Plus the fact that Team Falcons, aside from FF and Wawa, which are on the tankier side, Ray, Bobby, and Clue, all very squishy. If Sun is able to get onto you, he lifts steps forward, plus the battlefield command for the shield to keep yourself alive, Sun can blow you up. You gotta be super careful and understand where he's gonna be.
Yeah, it's really interesting that a lot of teams have been saving this Lu Bang pick into the knockout stage, right? Because it's something we didn't really see into the group stages, because again, it's something they've probably been screwing against with each other, making sure they can get the maximum combo.
Oh, here comes the Sun as well, and they flew too close to the Sun, and they get burned here. 2 kills? No, Clue will make it out alive. FF coming in, but here comes the battlefield command as well. They have taken it a step too far, will be pushed back, and Secret once again take a freebie in the top lane.
Freebie, I mean, that's more like they're taking too much. They're taking more than they should be, right? At this point of the game, this is looking like it's going to be a quick rollout of Game 1 between Falcons and Team Secret. But going into the 7-minute mark, past that as well, we have 14 kills. TS Sun trying to bait the wave breaker and does it perfectly. They get the T2 into the mid lane as well. It's looking very fearful for the side of Team Secret. Calvin's on the stage, and they do not want to miss this last win.
Yeah, this is going to be huge for them. I mean, Team Secret, this is going to be huge. Like, I mean, 10,000 gold lead at this point. They're completely in the control of this one. Sun playing the early to the limit, understanding that he does have Juan at a moment's notice. FF was going to go in. Sun kind of backpedaled a little bit and then kind of baited it out for him to kind of get out of position. Juan was able to go in and shield him at that moment's notice. And again, they're playing around their ults. They're being very smart with their movements and how they proceed and take objectives.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like they've just switched over their the motives, right, within their roster. TNX and Sun are both getting the resources that they need. They want to be set up as the carries in this game. Normally, Shishan would be going on something like the Ganon Mo, so it means that TNX has to go on something tanky, but this time around they're like, no. We have one last shot. If we miss this, we're out for good. And Team Secret, they're going from a great record, second in the Season 2 Invitational, losing to what was LGD is now BSE Gaming, and then obviously they got into the semifinals for EWC, so they don't want to be knocked out in this first 8.
Yeah, that would be a huge upset for them. They definitely don't want to be in that situation. But I do want to talk about one of the pieces that you talked about with Ganon Mo, right? I think that he's surging in popularity. He's doing a lot of damage, but I think at the end of the day, you still want the Lady John. The Ocean of Tears is just another level, the Destructive Deluge. Don't try to change things up too much, because Lady John is still far superior to the Ganon Mo.
Yeah, still far superior, but what is superior in this match?
Okay, they jump in. TNX as well onto 3 on the backlines, and there's a lot of damage coming in. And Team Secret, they pull the trigger, and this is game over. Game number 1 goes in the hands of Team Secret.
Literally pulled the trigger like that was Team Secret taking that game 1 with no bans as well, right? Back to basics, back to win.
All right, look, Team Secret, what really worked really well was that you didn't need any ban. I think from here on out, you don't ban anybody.
yeah.
The new strategy.
Yeah, maybe that's the new meta, right? Maybe that is the new meta. Hey, you can ban all 4 of your picks. We will see